Likutei Halachos, Nefilas Apaim, Halacha Vav. Al pi HaTorah ve'aya aseh lo'ilo, בליקוטי תנינו סימן ידבייס, אין שם היטב, כעניין המויק ואויד ודרך ועץ הטובה לכל וכו'. This Torah we learned, O Hashem, and the Ramosim Kedarkoi brings a synopsis. It says, V'aklal, the principle is, Shafilu k'she'odom yisrochak ma'ashem yisborach me'oid me'oid. Even when a person has become very, very distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, al-yedei ma'as ha'varoim, through his bad deeds. Afal pichem, still, k'shu mechazek es atzmai, when he steels himself, strengthens himself, חזק את עצמו עדיין ודוירש ושואל ומחפש, and he demands and he asks and he searches, ומבקש עצה ותחבולה, and he is searching for some kind of an advice, some kind of a strategy, some kind of a solution. לשוב אליו יסברך, come back to Kodesh Baruch Hu, okay, so Hakol Moedim, that in the encyclopedia, under the heading of no good, he lost it, he botched it, is my picture. Fine. Still. Alright, okay, fine, accept it. Now, how do I get to Kodesh Baruch Hu? Now, this takes strength of character and emunah, determination, more than anything else. This is what they give bravery citations in wars. When things seem to be lost, and he says, yeah, but still, how do I do it? This is it. Then a person manages, and he merits to turn that going down, but that going down itself will be the biggest aliyah possible. And when we learned the Torah, we gave the example of Harav Uri Zohar that, was the king of the artsy crowd, movie maker, whatever that is, anti-religious, the whole thing. The dafka, because of everything that he has done, has actually created a whole revolution of tshuva. The tshuva movement basically owes everything to him. Dafka because he did all those things. So if a person is not messiahish, but here we're talking even more than that. Here we're talking, Uri Zohar didn't have, he didn't know any better. It was Tinik Shenishma.
Especially in those days.
The Bechadai, he was telling you, it took a lot of courage, because it was like the most uncool thing to be. Being religious in those days was so irrelevant.
But back in those days, people respected religion.
No, they respected nothing. They respected them as much as you respect the Aboriginals in Australia. You probably respect them a lot, right? The religious people, and especially the Charedim, were so irrelevant. They were walking in the shadows, like people like aliens, nothing. It's just like, they look like dusty relics of an era go by. People got lost in time somehow, took the wrong turn, and are still looking for their way around. I mean, it's like, you're afraid, if they flap their hands a little bit too vigorously, the dust is going to come out. It was like the whole thing was like. In fact, Uri Zohar and me myself as well, we were products of a generation of chinuch, of education, that the very purpose of it was to prove the irrelevance of religion. I mean, we learned Bible in school. I think we even learned mission in school. It's a mission in high school.
Are you talking about non-religious kids?
Yeah. Some kind of mission. But that was the whole learning. The whole learning was done in a way. First of all, it was boring as hell.
It's like learning Latin, I remember.
Yes, it was boring as hell. And the whole idea was, Adrabah, it was put on a pedestal. It was put on a pedestal in order to emphasize how irrelevant it is. It's Bible. Whatever it's on Chanim, they got their berets, whatever it is, so that they had a Bible. When I finished elementary school, so I got a Bible. You got a Bible. You never open it. The whole 24 books of the Bible are a little like this Likutei around, it's just tiny little books, just like that. It's like it's meant not to be open. It's the whole idea is, that it's impossible to even convey how insidious was the anti-religiousness of the chinuch that he and I got in our entire generation. Not to tell us at all about it would have been dangerous. Like, what are you hiding from me? Why don't you tell me about that? Here, I'm telling you. Not only this, but I'm telling you, it's very important. It's very, and you have to learn it. You know what happens? They tell a kid you have to learn something, and you make it the most boring thing you can possibly make it. That's it. I mean, there's an X on it and finished. And out of those ashes, he got up, and yet he had the guts to do it. But here we're talking about once a person knows about it. I mean, there's no guilt in his distance from Yiddishkeit. There's no guilt involved. What do you want from him? Nevertheless, he went against the politically correct, which we know is a very, very strong tyranny. But you also have to understand that the time was right. In a sense, it was right after the Yom Kippur War, when the whole concept of koichi v'otzim yadi that was so cemented during the 6-Day War, the 67, just crumbled, and people were like now what, so what are we going to do now? So everybody was looking for, so what do? We thought that we were like Superman. We were like the best there is, and suddenly, that theory just crashed out. So they say in wars, many people find God, many people lose God, because of the trauma of the war. But nevertheless, here we're talking about somebody who is already religious, somebody who is religious, who knows about the Kodesh Baruch Hu, who knows about the Tzaddik, who knows about everything, and he falls. that is a lot more difficult to get up. I mean, the politically correct of the outside is just a little kid when compared to the politically correct of the inside, of the Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara is much more powerful. But if a person doesn't give up, he's zoche the dafka overcoming this bottomless despair and the defeat, the loss of hope and spirit, and you still look for the Kodesh Baruch Hu, that in itself, once you turn it over, is an unbelievable tool. Because dafka in those places, there's the highest bechina of Halachot. So it says, "V'yesha naflu b'chas mikomos metunovim chas v'sholem shesham ne'emar u'chvodi la'achar lo eten." I'm not going to give my cover to another. אבל באמת בוודאי גם אלו המקומות שמקבלים חיוס ממנו יתברך. Without any doubt, these places receive chayes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But they receive chayes from the Ma'amar Sosan, as we said. That's Firas Kesser, one of the 10 Ma'amor Shu Bereshis. Shu Bechinas Ayeh. And we went through at length of what is this Bechina of Bereshis and Ayeh, that the world was created with 10 Ma'amoras, but you only find 9 times because Baruch Hu said, and Hashem said, let there be light, and Hashem said, let there be. So where is the 10th? The 10th is the first one. In the beginning, Hashem created heaven and earth. This was also done with a saying. But the fact that it was said is hidden. And we said that this is necessary for the Mekomos HaMetunofim to receive chayas, because otherwise they could not exist. Because this particular saying is so concealed, the dafka from the greatness of the concealment, they receive, these places receive chayas mibchinas ha'alomo v'astora daika. Dafka from the hiding in the concealment, this is where the klippos get the chas. Anybody who falls there, the person still doesn't despair himself completely. He still is looking and he's searching. Where are you? This enables him to reach the highest of all the aliyahs. He's getting ayah is the Shem Kodesh, is the code of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is behind the Ma'amar Sosan, the Bereshis. And he says, and also says like this, Seif base, Nefilas Apaim. And this is what Nefilas Apaim is all about. It is explicit in the meditations of Arizal, Besod Nefilas Apaim, in the mystery of the Nefilas Apaim. And then what we do is we let ourselves drop to the side of death. In order to elevate from there, the sparks of holiness that have fallen into great, great depth. It is not possible to finish the tefillah. Okay, it's very nice. You went through all the madregas, you went through all the oilimus, you went, one step at a time, and you went to, through the Asiyah and the Yetzirah and the Bria and the Atzilus, and okay, you kissed the sky, no problem. You went through, you did the whole thing. The whole thing is still not complete, because you can't leave anybody behind. The shlemus is, you have to, those that fell all the way down in the depth, those, you don't write off anybody else. You don't write off anybody else. This is the secret, this is the mystery of this particular Torah. B'chinas Yerida, Tachlis Aliyah. That the going down is for the purpose of Aliyah. And he says, Ki b'inyan Yerida v'Aliyah, yesh kama v'kama b'chinas. In the going up and down, there are all kinds of b'chinas, of aspects, of ways. Ki yesh enoflo v'yodu mamash. There are those who actually went down and fell down. שירדו למעשיהם ותאווסיהם למקום שירדו ונפלו לשם חס ושלום. The people stumbled, and fell because of their deeds to places where this is where they felt it. אבל גם הם, but they too, יכולים לעלות, they can get up, כשחויטים אשר השם יסבוח באמס, when they strive to come back to הקדוש ברוך הוא באמס. And they get themselves closer to the true tzaddikim. That strengthen them and that teach them and strengthen them. That never despair yourself from shouting and calling out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'achipus v'abakosha. When you are searching and calling out, where is the Kadosh Baruch Hu? This enables a person to go up to the highest aliyah. The principle is like they say, whatever doesn't break you makes you stronger. This is what this principle is about. He says, but even very, very, very big tzaddikim, big Elishayid, they have to go through all this. They have to go through the same process. They put themselves down to these mekoymes. שהם בכינס מקום עשו מטונפים כדי לעלות משם ניצויסס ונשומס קדושס שנפלו לשם. These are the places, these are the dirty places, in order to elevate from them the nitzosas and the heilige and the shamas that fell there. Because Yerida Tachlis Aliyah, כמו שכוסף. שם בתורה, and at the end he wrote that this is Halicha B'drachim, this is the walking in the ways. Because before all the Chidush Torah, you have to first go into all these ways from that generate all the bilbulim, all the confusions. And really everything is one thing. The biggest tzaddikim, they have to descend themselves to these mekoymes. This is in this the aliyas and neshamas. There are many different aspects and fashions to it as well. About the elevating of the neshamas that fell, there are also a few aspects. First of all, there's the neshamas of the Mason. These are the souls of the departed, that fell there. And it's basically, and for years, sometimes millenniums, they don't have a tikkun. Only through the tzaddikim. And it is said from the Maises that say about the Baal Shem Tov, Zecher Tzaveh Kosh Levocho. And especially when we heard from the Rebbe's holy mouth a lot about this. But they are also, the main thing that they are working on, the hardest work that they do, is to sift and to elevate the nefashos that are still living in this world. And still, the main way that they do it is by going down. And they put Hirur Tshuva also to the people that are in the lowest rungs that there is. But since those that are still alive have the power from Bechira, it is very, very, very difficult to help them. The Rebbe said that to help a Baal Tshuva, a Baal Bechira, somebody who has choice, is very, very difficult. To actually change somebody who has a free choice is very, very difficult. כי לבעל בחיר קשה מאוד לעזור. כמו שכוסו מאוד במקום אחר, חיי הרען, דרך בסדר. חיי מורן, אבל אף על פי כן, still. יש הרבה שזוכים על ידי כוח הצדיקים מתעורר באיזה ישראלוס. There are many people, ברוך השם, that are fortunate enough to be zoicha through the power of the tzaddikim to awaken some kind of a service until they start getting close to them. And then the tzaddikim shine in those that are really, really far off. Shehem adayin yichabsu v'yivakshut Hashem Yisborach. They should still search and look for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Al dei zeh ma'alim gam es ha'yirudi mamash. And with this, they elevate also those that are really, really, really down. And they should be oiled, they should elevate b'tachlis aliyah. והכל בכוחם ובכוח תירוסם ויצוסם ורימזם הקדושים העמוקים הנשגוב המועד. And everything is with their strength and the strength of their Torah and their advice and their hints and which are immensely profound and high to the point that like to no end. The way and the chokhmah that the tzaddikim put themselves down to us is, you can imagine that a person goes into a camp of ISIS, all right? And putting and convincing the people, like, don't do that.
Good luck.
Right? It's the same thing. The same thing. Or people that are in Tumah, people that are in for the tzaddikim to get down to those places, in the spiritual, because there's so much the opposite of what it is spiritually. I mean, that like, it's like physically, for you and me to go down to ISIS camp and try to convert them, and bring them through. It's mamash mehepech lehepech. So you can imagine, this is what we said about Shlomo HaMelech, that it says, Vayechka mikol adam, that he was the wisest of all men. So the Gemara says, like, what's pshat that he was the wisest of all men? What's the manifestation of this supernal wisdom that nobody could ever reach? So they say that he could win an argument with a crazy person through his craziness. In other words, he could go into the crazy mindset of a crazy person and win an argument with him. I mean, the reason why you cannot win an argument with a crazy person, because he's bichlal not on the same tableau as you are. It's a bichlal different definition of reality, bichlal. I mean, I remember there was a Yid in Barbara. Nebuch was crazy, but he was El Yid, but it was crazy. Would go around with these stinking clothes and we never change them. These kind of people that go with many layers and you can't even stand next to them and whatever it is. And one day I walked after him on Shabbos, and he was in the street and he opened up his garment, whatever it is, and he just made, urinated on the sidewalk. So I said to him, what the heck are you doing? So totally calmly, he says to me, why not? Like, what's wrong? And I didn't know what to say. I had no idea what to say. I mean, if you don't get what's wrong, what can I tell you? Because you're making the sidewalk wet. There's absolutely nothing I can tell him because
Different levels.
We didn't share, the basic assumption of what does it mean, right and wrong. So I got so upset with him. I said, I'm going to call the police on you. He answered me, you could do that, but you'd be wrong. He was totally cool about the whole thing. He's like, what?
He's probably making fun of the whole world. He's
What?
happy,
No, not at all. Not at all. It was just that the brain was dafuk, and then it was ein malasot. And a tzaddik is somebody that can, the chacham mikol adam can get into the wisdom, into the madness of a madman and win an argument with him from within the argument. This is what the tzaddikim do with each and other, because we are totally berserk. We're totally not normal. Totally, the gamma.
It's like the story with the king's son.
Yes,
that was
exactly
on the
right.
table.
Exactly right. It's a shame.
To be continued.
To be continued.